How we getting on, folks? Not the best of days, but not necessarily the worst of days either in Kilbeggan the last day. Obviously, with the one non-runner, Loa Son, I thought he had a very, very good chance if he got a run, but um, and each way and the next best coming in to win. That's the best I could really do out of Kilbeggan. I was so disappointed with Swiss Breed. Um, Called it literally right down the money and just got beaten by an unexposed type, you could say. 16-1 for second place. I'm definitely happy with that. The Hinge 3, very impressive winner as well. But look, at overall, we were hoping for a bit of a better day, and it didn't really come to full fruition anyway. Down Royal tomorrow. It's an interesting card. I've 3 selected out for wins and 4 selected out for each ways. So it just goes to show it is a very, very competitive meeting tomorrow. It's not necessarily one I would be betting on, to be perfectly honest, but realistically, it could potentially be a nice way to make a bit of overall profit for the day. But look, we'll give it a shot anyway. We'll see how it goes. First race off, it's a no bet race, 120. Western Victory is going to win this hands down. Realistically, like, she is 2-5. She is going to be very, very hard to beat. Bar a mistake, I cannot see anything coming within 10 lengths of her. Make My Heart Fly, obviously, coming from Denise Foster's yard. Obviously, the Cullentra stables do get on very, very well up and down Patrick and down Ryle especially. Bonark and is it Ava Rose? Ava Rose is they're going to be battling out the second or the third and fourth. I would probably side with Ava Rose. So look, she is 10-1 if you want to have a bit of a bet on her each way, but realistically, you're wasting your time going against Western Victory here. She is definitely going to be the winner here, in my personal opinion, and definitely it is one just to sit back and watch a mare jump fences like this mare can. She is a very, very talented sort. 150 then. Tricky again. It was, for me anyway, it was definitely between the top 2. I think Cotty just needs that little bit more experience for the Henry de Bromhead yard. Obviously, look at between Irish Poseidon and Mars Harper. I've personally gone with Mars Harper, simply because of the stable connection with the course itself. Irish Poseidon probably is crying out for the all-weather in Dundalk again. I just think that Irish Poseidon, look at it, he is deserving favourite and he is the more likelier of the two, but just in terms of value, I don't think he's much value there at 9-4. I think Mars Harper there, the second last time out in Limerick. Western Cowboy obviously looks to be a very, very talented sort. We go down through his form. Second to Enniskerry, who has been very, very prolific. Obviously, Enniskerry won next time out in Roscommon, beating Ferdia, who definitely looks to be a very, very talented sort. And then the time before that in Tramore, behind Ruin Eyes, hasn't necessarily gone the way connections would like, but obviously Don Diablo has won since and has been very, very consistent overall. Nothing else really in there. Galileo potentially. Galileo has definitely, I wouldn't say boosted the form, but it hasn't necessarily knocked it about. I just think Mars Harper at 3-1 is a little bit more value there. With Luke Dempsey on board. Luke Dempsey's having a great time of things over the past couple of weeks. So realistically, I think value there definitely speaks for it here. Now, I wouldn't begrudge Irish Poseidon either, but I just think Denise Foster has a slightly better horse on her hands here with this one. I think Mars Harper is going to take the stopping tomorrow. 220. First each way of the day. I personally would be siding against Look Don't Touch. Now, saying that, looks to be the more likelier winner. All the rest of it, yeah. But 5-4 is definitely too short for me. One I definitely do like at 10-1 for an each way perspective is Sam Curling and Tommy Brett teaming up for Awfully Star here. Like I said, at 10-1 definitely looks to be a nice each way play. Obviously, look at being down Royal. It's interesting whether it's going to handle the course or not. In my personal opinion, I think courses like Tipperary, potentially Roscommon, you could technically say Kilbeggan as well, probably would suit this horse a little bit better. But the way it ran on for debut, when coming fifth behind a few nice sorts, in Listowel, Python, obviously the Dara Man, Flurry Yates, Nevadon. Look at the Awfully Star. It definitely stayed on fairly well, and I definitely think in time to come, up in it and trip is definitely going to be the way forward. But well, it actually has done. It's gone up. It's gone up by half a mile. So look at that's definitely going to be in this this horse's repertoire for improvement and everything else like that. I just think he's interesting. I think 10-1 is overpriced. He should run a fairly decent race and realistically should potentially make the frame here. Is not necessarily the strongest of races, and definitely I think if this horse can show its true worth and show its true colours, the Awfully Star is definitely one to be going with each way. 225 then. It's killing me to go against Nymphal for John Ryan and Philip Donovan, but I just think the drop and trip is a little bit confusing for me. 7-4 is a price that I wouldn't necessarily be jumping on board. Black Star Rocco is absolutely being heavily punted in the market. Got more duck eggs than anything else to its name, but look at realistically, I don't really know what to make of it, to be quite honest, which I think potentially it could be the bookies moving markets, different things like that. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a gamble that I'd be worth jumping on. The one that I am looking at, and it's a bit of a risky prospect here, but the only course and distance winners of the field, and it is a first reserve, but providing there is a non-runner in the field, it will definitely get in. For Mr. H. Smith and Katie O'Farrell, claiming 2 for Zag and Zig. Currently priced at 33-1, definitely one of the bigger prices of the day for me. But realistically, having the course form and everything else like that, it's definitely very, very interesting. When you look at the Down Royal form, especially on good ground second at 16-1, behind top of the charts. Next time out in Down Royal, on good to firm 5th of 13 behind Lucis Naturea, Kilkishen's Molly, Blue Skimmer, and Specific Gravity. Trying to find anything else here. 6th of 16 behind Road to Dubai, Viking Horde, Castle Howard, Mill Quest, Timon, and I think that possibly is it. Actually, the time at 1 was 12-1, beating Orimo, Hide the Biscuit, Authoritative, Ice Ice Baby, Aquarian, Redwood Boy. This one's for Ollie. Some fairly talented names in that list. Obviously the Smith Yard, it's only had three runners in the past 2 weeks, but it did produce a winner. I personally think with the run under this lad's belt, providing it does get the run, it's going to be well primed for this. It's on a fairly feasible mark as well, so definitely do not discount it. In my opinion, I definitely would be getting on board it now at 33-1, providing it does get in. It's probably not going to stay at that sort of a price. I definitely think It's one of the ones that should be thereabouts in the finish, providing it does get the run. And realistically, it could take all the stopping tomorrow. 33-1 could be value there for you folks. Next race up, the 330, the next best of the day for me, anyway. Speaking, and I'm very sorry to say this to Cathal McHugh, a very good friend of mine. He's probably going to be watching this, but I'm going against him. I'm going to go Wake the Giant here for Noel Kelly and Dylan Johnson claiming 4. In my opinion, 10-3 is absolutely incredible value here. The only reason why I'm going against Galileo, the simple fact is that he just seems like he needs a little bit more work on his schooling, and he just needs a little bit more respect for hurdles, let's just say. I think the jumping end of things is going to catch him out tomorrow. Wake the Giant, obviously, fell when looked like it was going to be a fairly decent runner that particular day. It's very well handicapped. Realistically, coming from Noel Kelly's yard, Noel loves to place these very, very well. Realistically, I think this horse here is definitely going to be very, very hard to beat. 10-3 looks to be a bit of a gimme here for this one here now. It looks to be a very, very nice price, and realistically, Wake the Giant should take plenty of stopping here tomorrow. It looks to be his race to lose. 405, and I'm going with another each way here, and a fairly strange enough each way, considering when you look at Willie Mullins, you don't often see plenty of duck eggs to his name, but his statistics here for this race in particular is very, very interesting. Obviously, look at Mr. Coldstone here, 8-1, ridden by Jack Foley. Jack normally rides out for Tony. Just going into this particular race tomorrow on the time form to show you exactly what I'm talking about. What was it? The 330 or 325 potentially. No, it's not 325. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the flat meeting. Just bear with me a second, folks. I'm just getting it up. Right. So the hints here. If it'll load for me. It's just loading up here now. I'm on the wrong race. It's 405 I'm looking at here. I said it was 330. So here we go. Right. Willie Mullins, the smart stats. Willie Mullins is a 46 pound and 58 pence to a pound level stake with hurdles running after a break. Obviously, look at Mr. Coldstone and good man Jim, 25% strike rate with hurdles running between 2 mile 2 and 2 mile 6. Mr. Coldstone and good man Jim, 32% strike rate for summer runners, Mr. Coldstone and good night Jim. Realistically, look at, I'm just taking a bit of a chance here. Obviously, look at coming from the Willie Mullins yard. Definitely very, very interesting here. I think realistically, it's a wide open affair, and any horse can win this. It's a typical handicap hurdle. There's probably going to be 4 or 5, 6 going over the last or the second last. Probably level it down to maybe 3 or 4 going over the last, and it's going to be a dart to the line. Look at it's anyone's race, and it's definitely going to be a very nice race. But I'm going to stick with Mr. Coldstone here at 8-1. I definitely think it is worth siding with this one here potentially. 440 then, the nap of the day for me, Whispering Pines. A long way behind Ash Road Diamond in Wexford last time out, but that's definitely the best form on the book here, in my opinion. And I definitely think Ash Road Diamond is a very, very talented sort. She certainly looks it. It doesn't look to be a realistic, tricky enough race. So I would be expecting Whispering Pines to go and win this here at even money. Realistically, it should be his race to lose. Or her race to lose, should I say. 5:10, the last race of the day. And there's a horse for Peter Fahey here that's been well punted. Newcomer for the yard, Asperity. I could be pronouncing that totally wrong, but it's a newcomer, so I can be forgiven with that one. 8-1, backed in from 14s. Half brother to a point winner, Dam Bumper, Hurdle, and Chase winner for Tom Mullins. It's definitely very well bred. The money down for it, you don't often see too much of it for Peter Fahey, but when you do, you nearly know there's something brewing and there's something going along. Seamus Perry claiming £7 as well, so that takes a little bit more weight off the horse's back. I definitely think it's well worth an each way coming for this source. Peter Fahey is 3 runners from the last 10, or 3 winners from the last 10 runners, I think. No, I was saying 1 from 15 here, so I don't know where I'm getting the 3 from 10. But I just think that's very interesting here. The Gosper, I think you can forget about him. I think he's just one of those horses that has great breeding and has a great page and everything else like that, but he's just a hard horse to get right. I think 5-2, bit underpriced for him. I definitely think I'd be more inclined to take him about 4 or 5-1. Barnestown lad, Barnestown girl, should I say? It's an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see what Whispering Pines does. If it does, it definitely backs up Barnestown girl. But I just don't know. I just think it's a tricky one here because for some reason this bumper here looks to be more competitive than the race before that, the hurdle race. So I just don't know. I think I'll be siding with something else here. Obviously Stuart Crawford's Lily de Burley as well, being a bit of a squeak on that as well, and a bit of money down for it. So look, it's anyone's race, but I'm just liking Asperity here. The bloodline definitely stands out. The money definitely stands out on top of it, and yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting on debut here. But look, I leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. For those who want to sign up to the Patreon, I leave a link in the description below. Probably you're better off waiting until the end or the start of July to sign up now. The fact that it is past the halfway mark in June, you're not necessarily going to be getting as much value for money as you would be, say, waiting and signing up on the 1st of July. But yeah, look, I leave a link in the description below for those who do want to sign up to that. It's up to yourselves really at the end of the day. Please keep hitting that subscribe button for those who haven't subscribed yet. I think I looked there on my analytics, so there's 65% of my viewers still not subscribed. So what are you waiting for, folks? Just hit that subscribe button and just give me that little bit extra support that I need, and we will slowly but surely start gathering up momentum and getting to that 1,000 subscriber mark that I've been aiming at. But look, I leave it there. Best of luck tomorrow if you're going to be having a bet, and hopefully we will start turning the form around once again.